Hey everyone, Neil Flurster from Poly here, and in this video I'm going to give you some tips and tricks using some free open source software on how you can level up your video conference calls from home using Teams or Zoom or any other application. I'm going to show you how to create these banners along the bottom, as well as putting overlays and live video and even live ticker tapes running down the bottom. So stay tuned and I'll take you step by step through on how you can run it on your computer. So there's no real hidden secrets here. If you're one of the cool kids or one of those cool streamers or gamers, you kind of probably know already how to do this and you'll know all the tools that I'm going to share with you. But if you're kind of not into that kind of scene and you're not used to streaming out on Twitch or YouTube, then some of this stuff may be useful and interesting to you to be able to, say, level up your video calls or even create some really nice and compelling webinars and other presentations. So what I'm doing here is I've got my video feed, you can see here, from my camera, and I'm overlaying some graphics on top of it in real time. Now I can just record this as I am now and recording this to publish on YouTube, but I can also use this as a camera stream in any application on my laptop, be it Zoom, be it Teams or Skype or any other application that I may be using a webcam, a USB camera. I can overlay this stuff live, and again I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So to do that, I'm going to use exactly the same tools that I'm using, and I'm going to take you through how to set this up on your computer. So let me switch to a laptop here, so you can see this is my my laptop desktop, and you can still see me here in the video. And again, I'm using the exact same software tools that I'm going to show you, and you can do this for yourself. So we're going to go to a web browser to start, and we're going to search for a free piece of software called OBS Studio. You can go straight to it. So I'm just googling it here. You can see OBS, Open Broadcast Software, and we're going to download this. Now again, a lot of you are probably already familiar with OBS and maybe using this if you're already creating your own YouTube videos or live streaming out on YouTube or Twitch. So we're going to download the installer. So I'm just going to click on it. Obviously if you've got a Mac or PC or Linux, you choose the right one. So we're going to click on this and run it up. So standard install process, you know, to go through. With the power of editing, I'm going to whiz and speed up some of this process to simplify it and to shorten the video down. So let's run through the install. So now you can see we've got this software called OBS, or Open Broadcast Studio, installed on our PC, on our laptop here, and at this point we're kind of ready to be able to create what's called a scene, input some sources and create our kind of layout. And we can use that then to either record a video, again like I'm doing now, or we can use that to stream out to any of the streaming services like Twitch or YouTube or other streaming platforms on the web. But the really cool bit is to be able to use the scene and the layout that we're going to use and use it as a camera feed. So we need to install one more piece of software and set that up now. So I'm just going to close down the OBS software here, and I'm going to go back to my Google. And in this case, I'm going to now search for OBS Virtual Camera. And what this does is it allows me to install a virtual webcam driver that will use the output of OBS as a camera into any of my software. So you can see here the link. I'll put all these links in the description of the video. So we're just going to click on this. Takes to a GitHub site, scroll down, and we're going to find the install from the release page. Again, you can see the URL on there if you want to go straight to it. Now, for the techie people, you can obviously go and download the source code and manually install it. For us general Luddites like myself, I'm just going to run the executable. So again, we're going to click on this, download it, there it is, and then we're going to fire this up. And again, I'll just speed this up so we don't have to sit through it on my laptop. Now just pause here. You've got an option where you can, or it asks you whether you want to install just one camera, or you can actually install 4 virtual cameras, so you can actually switch through different scenes. Entirely up to you. For simplicity, I would just go with one, but again, if you want to be really cool and funky and have a play with this, if you are a bit more techie, then try playing with the 4 cameras if you want to. Okay, so that's now installed, and we've got the virtual camera installed on our laptop. We've got OBS installed. Now, for this to work, you might have to do a reboot. It depends. I've tried this a couple of times. Sometimes I have to reboot, sometimes I don't. We'll give it a go and see if it's all fired up. So let's fire up our OBS software here. There we go, and you should hopefully see under the tools menu we have now this virtual camera option. So in here I can choose to have this auto start, so as soon as I fire up OBS it will auto start the camera output. I can choose to horizontally flip the image. I can also choose to keep the aspect ratio if I want to. If I've installed more than one camera, you can see here, again, I've got the 4 camera options. I can choose which one I want to run out. So again, if I've got multiple camera sources, I can then run those out as multiple cameras. And then you've got buffered frames. Now, on my testing, I've run this right down to 0, so that there's no buffering, there's no delay on the video stream. It's going to depend laptop to laptop, computer to computer. This is a reasonably fast laptop, but again, I can't comment. Obviously, if you've got some old dog of a computer, it might run a bit slowly and you might have to buffer it slightly. So I'm just going to click this up and run start, and that's it. So that's now running, and we can just close the virtual camera piece now. Now we need to build up our scene. So you can see here all the things that we can actually add in to this scene. So let's select video capture device. We can call it a name. So I'm going to say webcam. In here, oh, wrong keyboard even, webcam, and we'll click OK on that. I've got too many computers and too many mice. So here you can see now I can choose my camera. So I'm going to integrated camera. So here is the camera in my Lenovo here. It is just the built-in camera, so this will work with pretty much any USB camera I've got. Obviously at this point I can then go in and change the settings, so I'm going to go into custom on this. I'm going to change my resolution to be a widescreen 16:9 aspect ratio, and you can see there is my output. I'm going to then stretch this out so it's then full screen. So this is my camera, and we're now full screen at this point. So how do I then put a banner up on the bottom? So I've come up with a couple of easy ways to do this. Now, on my original one, I'm using Photoshop, and I've got some quite high-end graphics tools to be able to do that. I don't know which camera to look at now. I've got some high-end tools. So I've tried to simplify this and come up with some easy ways that's repeatable for most people. So the best thing I could come up with was to use PowerPoint. So here I am in PowerPoint, and I'm just going to create a really simple banner here. So we're just going to get a box and draw it up along the bottom here. I'm going to get some text and overlay it. Now, I'm not going to teach you how to use PowerPoint because I'm hoping most of you can use that. But obviously, if you're familiar with whatever tool you've got, then you can use that to create your banner. So I'm just going to put this down here. We'll make it a little bit bigger, just sort of centralize it. Obviously, you can overlay the graphics, like I had the YouTube logo and the Twitter logo and such like that. But again, you can titivate this and make it look, you know, as presented as you want. So the easiest way to get this out, I found, is to use a cool little tool in Windows called the Snipping Tool. So we're going to hit the Windows key on the keyboard and type in snip. And you can see it there listed, so we'll just click on that. And this allows us to take an area of the screen as a screenshot or as a picture. So we click on new. Actually, I don't want to do that because I've got the box up, so I need to just get rid of that box. There we go. Go back into our snipping tool, click on new, and that now allows me to crop or to select an area of the screen, which I'm going to now take as a screen grab. So there we go. I've taken that area. I'm now going to save this as a separate file. So we're going to save as. And I'm just going to save this on my desktop and call it banner. Wrong keyboard again. Banner. There we go. And we'll click save on that. And now what we're going to do is go back into our OBS here, and we're going to hang on, wrong mouse again. Goodness me, this is getting complicated. Right, there's my my videos. Picture there, so let's get rid of our snipping there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add to this scene, I'm going to add a image. So we give it a name, so I'm going to call this one banner, and select OK, and then at this point I can obviously go and find that file. So let's go to our desktop, find my banner JPEG. There it is. And I'm going to click OK, and I can now move this wherever I want on the video screen. Let's make it a little bit bigger. If you want to size it independently, then obviously you can use things like Shift, which will allow you to sort of stretch it out. Now again, you're going to have to play around with this to get your aspect ratio right, and obviously make sure you're not sort of stretching things out. But again, this is just an example for speed to show you exactly how to do this. We can then even go in and do some cool stuff, so we can add what's called filters to this. So I can then go into this image, I can do things like make it transparent, again as you saw with the image that I did. So I can do things like image blast, masking and blending, and again I can then change the opacity of this, and again change certain bits of it to edit it up. So we just create this as a really simple scene with my camera and this banner that's down the bottom. Again, you can be really elaborate and use your own imagination to make this as cool as you want. Now, the really cool thing about this is whatever you've got here in OBS, banners, overlays, ticker tapes, and anything you're doing in here, that virtual webcam, that virtual camera will send that out to whatever software you want to use as a webcam feed. So Teams, Zoom, anything you want to use, it will fire that out as a webcam feed. So let's fire up here. We just need to minimize OBS here now. And I'm going to fire up Microsoft Teams. So Teams, there it is. Let's fire that up. And I'm just going to go and do a meet now. And you'll see here in Teams, we have got the banner there, and if I bring up the settings, you'll see that the camera is set to OBS camera. In this case, I've got OBS camera 2, 3, 4, because I obviously chose the 4 camera install. And I can just choose this as my camera, and then when I go to join my Teams meeting, obviously there's that one in here, but you'll see it's going to now use that. Let's move this out of the way now. It's using that as the bar. Now, note that it's flipped. It looks the wrong way round because you're looking at yourself back. So don't get worried. It looks wrong for you, but it looks right for everybody else. And obviously when other people join, it will move down to a pip and you won't see it. So don't worry that it's the wrong way round. It's meant to be the wrong way round. Now, again, this is just a really short intro as to some of the stuff you can do. And if I just bring our OBS back up, and you'll see that I can actually edit in real time. So as I'm moving things around here in OBS, as I'm adding other stuff in here, like additional images, so again, I can bring in other images and pictures from my laptop here. So for example, there's a great one of me and Johnny here. So let's bring that up, and again I can move that around, I can scale that. So find those pictures that that you want, put them on the screen, lay it out how you want, and whatever you do in here in OBS will be outputted as your camera then. So have some fun, have a play, loved it. I'll go back to this camera now. Let's go back to our original scene. So have a play and have some fun. I'd love to hear from you guys as to what you want to do with this and what you've played with. Let's say whether it's the banners, the tickers, the screens, or the images along, I can never remember which one it is, the images up the side here. Have a play. Tell me your feedback. I'd love to hear from you. Again, let's try and level up and improve our video calls. To everyone out there, stay safe, stay engaged, and I'll try and create some more of this great content to help you get the most out of your video software. So stay tuned.